Hey everyone, this is Pastor Nathan again with thoughts, reflections, and stories to help us walk with God through COVID-19. Several years ago, when we were starting our Hope Community Church, we were trying to think of what verses could help us, could kind of be what we're all about, and we actually put them on our little invite card on the back, and I'd like to share those two verses from the book of Romans chapter 15 as our verses for today. For everything that was written in the past was written to teach us, so that through endurance and the encouragement of the scriptures we might have hope. And then verse 13, may the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. It just struck me that hope fuels creativity and freedom, and fear smothers it. And during times like this, it's easy to maybe go in the direction of the fear and away from the direction of hope. So the other day, as I had mentioned in one of these earlier ones, when we saw the kids in the neighborhood being very creative about playing and connecting with each other during times of social distancing, they each had little tents set up on the edge of their lot, and the ones on the same side of the street were 20 feet apart, and they were directly across from someone across the street. So 4 different groups of kids were basically staying connected while social distancing. They were creative. They were having fun. Remind me of a story when I was a boy, and this is one of my boyhood stories like I tell my grandsons. And I call this one the bike race to the beach. So when I was about junior high school and into summertime, when we had some time, my brothers and I were trying to figure out things we could do, trying to be creative and trying to have fun. And so we lived about 3 miles from the beach. And we had 3 bicycles. And we had 4 boys. One of the boys was too little for our bicycle. So the 3 bicycles were a 26-inch boy's bike, a 24-inch girl's bike, and a 20-inch boy's bike. And so the 3 oldest boys got the 3 bikes. And I, being the middle one, get the girl's bike, 24-inch. And so I just make it as much of a race-type bike as possible. To have these rounded handlebars like this. And so I put them down so they're like a racing bike handlebars. And so then we wanted to go to the beach just to have something to do, and we didn't have any money, so we couldn't like buy things or go to places. No video games back then. So anyhow, we come up with this idea that we're going to have a race to the beach. And one of our friends from the Grenada Boys Secondary School, Eddie, he wanted to go too. Now, Eddie had a very, very nice bike. It was a 10-speed bike, and it had all kind of things on it, like bells and whistles and lights and all kinds of things. And so Eddie had the best bike, but Eddie was a little bit, shall we say, a little bit heavier. So he's carrying a little extra weight. And so what we decided, because my littlest brother, not the littlest, but the third brother, Reuben, was younger, quite a bit younger, 3 years younger than me, we need to give him a head start. So the boy with a 20-inch bike get the head start, and we let him go. And the 3 others of us, we start racing to the beach. It's about 3 miles. And we do this several times, but this one time, and Doug's bike, I must say, he was very athletic, and he would have won the race easily if he had had a good bike. But his bike, the pedal on one side is all stripped out, so you can't screw it in. So he's sticking sticks and things like that to hold the pedal in place. And so when we racing and going to the beach, every so often, Doug going down into the ditch, and his pedal come off, and he's putting it back on and scrambling, and then he has to catch back up to Eddie and I. And so usually, Reuben is way, way out in front until we get near the beach to the straight stretch. And when we get near the beach to the straight stretch, depending on how many times Doug has had his bike go in the ditch and how tired Eddie is, all 3 of the older boys, they're all kind of together, racing, trying to catch up. And every time before we get to the end, all of us passing Reuben. And he's thinking all the way to the end, I'm going to win, I'm going to win, I'm going to win. and then we all pass him. So then when we get to the beach, we all is very tired and we feeling good from all the exercise and everything, but we don't have any money and we're thirsty. So we go out on the pier by this club, and they have a pier going out to the Grand Anse Beach. And in the nighttime, they're having parties and everything, and people just throwing their bottles off of the pier. And so what we would do is we would go after we have a bike race, and we would dive for the bottles. Because in the shops in Grenada, they're giving you 2 cents for every pop bottle you get. And so we look around and we say, well, there's 4 boys and we each want a pop. And back then the pops were 10 cents. And they would have maybe a Coke or a Fanta or a Red Spot. And we would get, so we have to get 4, and we would want a penny bread and butter too. So that's 2 cents for that, for each of us. So that's 4 times 12 is 48. So we have to dive, kids, can you tell me how much? 24 bottles we had to dive for. And the water is so clear in the Grand Anse Beach off of this pier. You could look up on the pier and look down into the water, and you could tell what kind of pop bottle it is. There's a Coke bottle, there's a Red Spot, there's a Fanta. And so we would just call out and say, I'm going for this Coke bottle over here. And we dive in and we get the Coke bottle, bring it up, put it on the pier. And then someone else would dive until we get to 24. And then we go and cash them in at the nearest shop. And then we all could drink the soft drink and have the penny bread and butter. And that is how creativity works. So, kids, there's stuff you can do. There's creative things. You don't have to bug your parents. You can figure out ways to enjoy each other, do the social distancing, do everything you're supposed to do, but still have fun and be creative. And parents, you too. You can do that too. Encourage you to make contact in creative ways to connect with other people, send cards, emails, send videos like this. And I wanted to let you know too that we're having a Good Friday worship at 6 p.m. on Facebook Live, just like we do our Sunday mornings. So I look forward to seeing you then. We'll do one of these again on Thursday. God bless you.